secundam juventutem, post molestam senectutem, nos habebitumus, nos habebitumus.
Be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our Camerata choir conducted by Timothy Pallett, who is one of our BMU students. So you'll see we have some extremely talented students amongst us today. You'll be hearing more from the Camerata a little later in our program. Welcome, Amukela, welcome. Welcome to the UP family. Today is about our new students, so please forgive us while we abandon protocol. I'm not going to single out any individual for a special welcome, save, of course, for our Vice Chancellor, because, after all, he is my boss. We're thrilled to share this really exciting, life-changing moment with all of you. Students, are you excited? How many of you are afraid? Yes, a few of you. Ladies and gentlemen, as Tony Robbins said, stop being afraid of what could go wrong and start getting excited about what can go right. Parents, I know today is a difficult one for you. Many of your children are leaving home for the first time, but I do urge you to remember that however painful the process for both parent and child, it would be even more frightening if they never left home at all. I'm Professor Caroline Nicholson. I'm the Registrar of the University, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm your Program Director for this morning's event. So before we move into the program itself, just a few housekeeping matters. And this is where I put on my air hostess cap and I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, in the unlikely event of an emergency requiring you to evacuate the hall, please leave the hall in an orderly fashion using the exit nearest to you. Please take a moment to acquaint yourself with where the exits are. There are two on either side of the front of the hall and two at the back of the hall. There are, of course, security services members present who will assist you in that unlikely event. And if indeed we do need to evacuate the hall, please gather at one of our assembly points. That is the horse statue to the northwest of the hall and the lawns next to the horse statue on the southeast and southwest of the sports centre. There are also paramedics situated in the foyer at the back of the Rembrandt Hall should you be overtaken by all this excitement, and they are there to assist you in case of any medical emergency. In the event of a power failure, please don't be alarmed. Our generators will kick in within 60 seconds, and after all, we are the most romantic country in the world because we have dinner by candlelight almost every night. We do, of course, have to guard against the possibility of stage 8 load shedding, because then someone from Eskom is coming to blow out your candles. Bathrooms situated along the back hallway, so please, if you need to use the bathroom, that is where you will find them. Please put your cell phones on silent during the morning's proceedings, and then you are actively encouraged to take as many photos as you like and to tweet madly about how much you've enjoyed your first experience at UP. Senior students and alumni, you're also encouraged to participate. Please use the hashtag UP Welcome Day, and it will get picked up on our social media channels. Those of you who have not yet completed registration, there will be professional staff on hand to assist you until 2 o'clock today, so that you students can get the all-important student card so that you can get access to the campus for your compulsory orientation on Monday morning. This morning's function will proceed as follows. After a brief introduction, or perhaps not quite so brief, they don't let me out often, so I take advantage. I'm going to introduce to you a very special guest this morning and a very special parent, and I'll explain to you about that a little later. And then our special guest will then invite Professor Coupe to address you. And of course, our award-winning Camerata Choir, very talented young performers, will also entertain you further with 2 musical items. After the brief musical interlude, I will introduce you the President of the SRC, Mr. David Kabwa, to say a few words and to introduce his executive team to you. And then I will close the proceedings. So ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seat belts, sit back, relax, and I hope you're going to enjoy the next hour or so with us. Having accepted a place at the University of Pretoria, you now have the opportunity to live the life that you've imagined for yourself, and it's up to you to embrace what in fact is not a new chapter in your life, but an entirely new book of which you are the author. That also means that you not only have a responsibility to dream about success, but to get up every day and make it happen. Congratulations on making the right choice, not just to invest in your future by furthering your education, but also on choosing the very best university to do it at. UP is on an exciting trajectory led by an inspired VC whose energy and enthusiasm for the higher education sector in general and the UP in particular have made UP a uniquely inspiring environment in which to work and study. With more than 1,200 programs offered across 9 faculties and a business school, UP is certainly a place where you can realize your imagined futures. In realizing your dreams, you're encouraged to make use of all the tools at your disposal here at the University of Pretoria. Learning is integral to achieving success, and learning is not possible without exceptional leadership. It's thus a great pleasure for me to introduce to you members of the senior leadership team of the University of Pretoria who join me here on stage this morning. Let me begin by introducing the members of the executive. First, of course, our Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Professor Tawana Coupe, the man you're all here to listen to this morning. The first year of 2020 joined the university in the second year of Professor Coupe's term as Vice-Chancellor and Principal of the university. He was appointed in 2018 and commenced his duties on the 14th of January 2019. Prior to his appointment at UP, he was the Vice Principal of the University of the Witwatersrand, responsible for the daily running of the university and coordination of operations across all executive portfolios. Pretty much that means he's done all our jobs. Before that, he also served as the Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Advancement, Human Resources and Transformation between 2013 and 2014, and was Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Finance and Operations. Professor Coupe served as an Executive Dean at WITS in the Faculty of Humanities for 6 years, between January 2007 and December 2012, after serving as the head of the then WITS School of Literature and Language Studies and the founding head of the Media Studies Department. Prior to joining WITS, Professor Coupe lectured at Rhodes University from 1999 to 2001 and briefly acted as the head of the Department of Journalism and Media Studies. He joined Rhodes from the University of Zimbabwe, where he worked in various academic capacities from 1988, including as chairperson of the Department of English, Media and Communication Studies. Professor Coupe holds a BA Honours degree and a Master's in English from the University of Zimbabwe, and a D.Phil in Media Studies from the University of Oslo in Norway. With such an impressive CV and such a wealth of managerial experience, I think that you will all agree that our staff and student cohort is privileged to have his leadership and his guidance. Prof. Coupe is ably assisted in the executive by Professor Stephanie Burton, our Vice Principal of Research and Postgraduate. You'll be happy to know I'm not going to give everybody's CV. Professor Norman Duncan, the Vice Principal Academic. There you are. Professor Carolina Koornhoff, Executive Director Finance and Student Administration. Professor Themba Musia, Vice Principal Student Life, and of course a very important man when it comes to taking care of your needs. Mrs. Sandile Njani, our Chief Operations Officer, and Professor Anton Struve, Vice Principal, Institutional Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation. Next, let me introduce the deans of the various faculties. Professor Tian de Jaar, Dean of Health Sciences. Professor Barend Erasmus, recently appointed Dean of Natural and Agricultural Sciences. Professor Elsa B. Lutz, Dean of the Faculty of Economic and Management Sciences. Professor Sunil Maharaj, Dean of Engineering, Built Environment and Information Technology. Professor Vinny Naidu, Dean of Veterinary Science. Professor Ntabiseng Ugudi, Dean of the Mamelodi Campus. Professor Vasu Reddy, Dean of the Faculty of Humanities. Professor Elsa Biskuman, newly appointed Dean of Law. Professor Chika Saule, Dean of Education. And Professor Ernest van Eck, representative of Professor Jerry Pillay, the Dean of Theology and Religion. Professor van Eck is the Deputy Dean of the faculty. Now, before I introduce you to the special guest, after which you're going to forget about everything else you see today, I'd also like to introduce to you a brilliant young man who contributes enormously to the well-being of the university and its students, Mr. David Kabwa, the President of the SRC. Mr. Kabwa was elected to this profile for a second term, and the senior management team looks forward to working with him again in 2020. I'll say a little bit more about David a little later. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special treat for you this morning, as we're joined here by living proof that if you could dream something at UP, you can make it happen. I'd like you to meet our newest and smallest staff member and her very proud daddy. Please, put your hands together for Mr. Isaac van der Walt and the famous Libby. Isaac is the Digital Scholarship and Innovation Manager in the Department of Library Services, who oversees and implements strategic innovation projects for UP libraries, and he also is the co-founder of the first academic makerspace in South Africa. Libby is the first robot librarian at a library in Africa, and Isaac has hopes of becoming a grandfather soon when Libby's family expands. Libby made her debut in the library on the 27th of May 2019 and has processed in excess of 11,500 queries since then, helping her co-workers to deal with answering basic questions. I'm certain that all of our students here will meet her in person when they visit the Merensky 2 Library's information desk. Thank you, Isaac, for sharing Libby with us today. Isaac will now engage with Libby, who will then invite Professor Coupe to the podium to deliver his message.
Thank you, Prof, for the introduction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if Libby's willing to speak to us today.
Hello.
Please say hi to everyone.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to this special event. I hope you are as excited as I am to be here.
How are you today?
Sorry, could you say that again?
How are you today?
I am doing great, thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Okay, let's go. Please tell me about the University of Pretoria.
The University of Pretoria, UP, is one of Africa's top universities and the largest contact university in South Africa. We produce socially impactful research to find solutions for the world's most pressing issues. We have a high quality of teaching and learning in the classroom, online, or in communities.
Thank you.
It is only a pleasure and the reason I am here.
Say goodbye to everyone. Did you get that? Please say goodbye to everyone.
Goodbye everyone, and please enjoy the rest of our ceremony and your time at UP. I would now like to invite Professor Coupe to the podium.
Thank you for the introduction, Libby. I hope you had a good holiday. We will give you a salary increase as soon as possible in recognition of your stellar performance. Libby is the first client service robot known to be in use in any university in Africa. She lives in the library's makerspace, which is a creative laboratory for people to work on their ideas together, and it is the first of its kind in South Africa. Moms and dads, grandparents, guardians, and alumni, and most importantly, our VIPs of today, all our first-year students. Some of your parents or older siblings may be already alumni, part of our family, but I want each of you to know that your decision to choose UP is the best decision you have ever made for yourself and for your future. And thank you for choosing UP. This is because UP offers the best support structures to help you succeed. We are more than a university. We take pride in and care for each of you. From today until you graduate, you are a part of us. We want to produce the best quality professionals so that you can succeed in the world beyond university. Some of the shining stars of the matric class of 2019 have made their UP their home in 2020. They chose UP, and they include the following top achievers. Crystal Olkers, who is the top matriculant in Gauteng, chose UP. Greta Kupeshwok, who is the top matriculant in Mpumalanga, and the top matriculant in the country for quintile 4 schools. Ketuki Sindane from High School Middelburg has an 86% average and 6 A's. Tabiso Xaba has 8 A's and a 91% average. From Sibusiso Comprehensive Technical High School at Umbunulu in KwaZulu-Natal. Louis Nell from St. Albans College has 10 A's and an 88% average. And Kluatlano Modiesasi with 7 A's and an 89% average from Hilton College in KwaZulu-Natal. They all chose UP. They've joined our community and we're deeply proud of them. They are our top achievers. Today, we welcome and applaud you, our first-year students, on your achievement in passing your matric with such very good results. It is a big decision to choose a university, and I want you to know you have made the right choice of a high-quality institution. UP is one of the top 5 universities in South Africa, according to the 2019-2020 rankings by the Center for World University Rankings. It is also ranked among the top 100 universities worldwide in veterinary science, theology, and law, and among the top 1% in agricultural sciences, clinical medicine, engineering, environmental ecology studies, immunology, microbiology, plant and animal sciences, and the social sciences. In 2019, UP was for the second consecutive year the overall varsity champions. So at UP, we also do, it's not just brains, we are also brilliant on the sporting fields. In only one of the 14 varsity competitions, did Tuks end up not being one of the top 4 teams. Asopol Tuck's cricket celebration of 100 years of cricketing excellence got more special on the 2nd of November 2019 when the team won the Red Bull Campus World Cricket T20 tournament in Dubai, making last year the best sporting year in the history of the university. In addition to our top academic programs, we have a wide range of extramural arts, culture, and sporting activities for you to participate in through student structures and societies. This adds to your being a well-rounded person at the end of your time with us. I strongly encourage students and parents to take some time while you are here in Pretoria to visit our new Javet UP Arts Center, the largest university-based museum in South Africa on our South Campus. It is home to our world-famous museums, ceramic and other collections, including the Mapungubwe Gold Collection, and a wonderful selection of arts from across the continent. At university, you will need to make many decisions on your own. The principals and the school teachers, the homework book that your parents have to sign are gone. You now have to keep your own notebook and do your own homework without anybody asking you a question. That's a very big responsibility. This includes deciding when you are going to have fun and party, and when you are going to work and study. I want you to make responsible decisions here. Learn to deal with temptations around drugs, irresponsible consumption of alcohol at this stage of your life. Because if you do not, it could make or break the rest of your life. So, be responsible and remember that we are counting on you to do the right thing. A healthy lifestyle is very important for you to be able to learn at optimal levels. If you have trouble or emotional distress, human lives are never smooth. You might get a bump in your life. Remember that you have counseling and psychological support available to you. If you are unsure where to find this sort of support, speak to a friend, tutor, lecturer who can refer you to these services. No matter how big our university is, and it is big, you still matter to us in your individual capacity. Please attend Orientation Week to learn how to effectively use all the support you are offered. Orientation Week has changed substantially since your older siblings and family members were here. We strongly encourage you to attend because it will help you learn everything you need to learn to navigate your way during your studies. I can tell you how important Orientation Week is because last year I was also a first-year student like you, although they made me make the speech. You might also see all of the senior management on stage today, but they were also students, and they are also lifelong students. They don't want to tell you that they actually also didn't find their way, because now they are in these very interesting gowns. We all are always learning something new. This last year has been an eye-opener for me personally, because I also had to get used to the size and scale of UP. I will now reveal a secret which is not known. For many days at the beginning, I didn't know how to get to my office, and I got lost a few times. But I didn't look like I was lost. This can be quite daunting for a first-timer. But if you attend Orientation Week, you will be brought up to speed and ready to go when the academic year opens next week, which is the 3rd of February, the lectures start, or we blow the whistle. Remember to download the UP app before classes start. You will notice that we have gazebos outside where you can learn about a wide variety of service and support we offer. Please take a moment to familiarize yourself with what's on offer. I know this is a very exciting time in your life, and some of you are excited to be away from your parents in a big city alone. I mean, this is the moment in your life. Get rid of the controllers. We have a local policing and safety network in Hatfield Precinct, but please do be careful. We are trying our best, but as you know, crime never takes a break. Don't be lulled into a false sense of security. Many of you are new drivers, and there's a lot of traffic around our campuses. So please learn to adhere to the rules of the road. Watch where and how you walk and park, and remember there are pedestrians everywhere. The same goes for when you are walking. Please look up from your mobile phones every once in a while to see whether you are not about to trip or walk into a pillar or someone else. Remember, people are stuck on their social media. This happens surprisingly often. We will do the best we can to give you a high-quality education. I have some very serious advice I want to give to you. The 3 tips that I'm going to give you now will help you on your way to graduating in minimum time for your degree. Because remember, when you do not graduate in minimum time for your degree, you cost those people who are in the room with you, who are paying us for you to study. So please stick to the minimum time, but also you waste your own time and lose opportunities. So we have a number of programs to enable you to graduate in time. One such program is called Fly at UP. It's not an airline. We are not trying to replace SAA. It is an academic program. Plan and manage your time and deadlines well. This is what Fly at UP is about. First, and also spend some time every day to read your class materials before class. Second, in class, engage with lecturers and fellow students and learn even more. Thirdly, after class, reflect on what you have learned, go over your notes, and complete all your assignments and tests on time. There is lots of additional resources and support available online to supplement what you have learned in class. If you follow this formula, you will manage to keep a good semester mark, and this will help you graduate on time. And you can actually learn from that aeroplane called Fly at UP. This formula has worked so well for so many students that we are proud to have an 82% pass rate for our exams. Remember that doing small bits of work and studying consistently on a daily basis will help you to cover a large volume of work in small chunks. This makes it less daunting and overwhelming than trying to cram in a whole semester's worth of work the night before a test or exam. We believe that what we do at UP aims to transform society and the world through creativity, energy, diversity, collaboration, engagement, innovation, respect, understanding, and the urge to use our knowledge, skills, and resources to make today and every day better. Providing the best for our students and doing the most that we can to assist you to grow and develop so that you too can be innovative, creative, critical thinkers who are an asset to society is what we call the UP way. So when you walked around, you must have seen some people with t-shirts written the UP way. That, if you like, is our main religion. But you can keep your religion, but also take on the new religion, the UP way. I'm not exactly the bishop, but there are many bishops on campus. It's everything that makes us different and special as a university, and we are proud to welcome you to our family. From today onwards, you are part of the UP way. The UP way is what we do to teach and learn, innovate, impact society and communities, and to live a way that is ethical, responsible, respectful, and kind to everyone. This is the essence of who we are, and you are at UP. Employers know this, and that is why 93% of our students are employed or furthering their within 6 months of graduating from UP. People often ask me, what happens to the other 7%? You are very silent on that. The other 7% come back to take postgraduate studies. At the last time I passed matric, 93 plus 7 was 100%. We ranked 232 in the world for graduate employability. To put this into perspective, there are 26,000 universities in the world, and we came in at 232 out of 26,000, which is a massive achievement. And this university is only 112 years old. The last time I checked, there's a certain big university I know in England. It's 1,000 years old, and UP is 232, right, breathing right behind it. We are very good, I can tell you. It will enable you to get and pursue a good, rewarding career. Our career office will help you to make yourself ready for the world beyond the university. One of the many services that they offer is a free online program called Ready for Work, which gives you the workplace skills that you need to access the job market. You can also learn to start your own business with our online entrepreneurship course, which is also free. You will learn more about this during orientation week. The majority of our lecturers or academics are experts in their field. We are the university where 67% of our academics hold the highest degree, the PhD, and we are the largest producer of research. This helps us to provide a very high quality of education for our students. But more importantly than this is how we use this knowledge to uplift society and give back from our skills and knowledge. We are the only African university in the University Social Responsibility Network, which comprises 15 top universities in the world, and the only South African university in the Taylor's network. This goes to show how well our community work is recognized internationally. Around 33,000 of our students are involved in community engagement projects and make use of their knowledge and skills for the common and the public good. This is spread across 1,000 communities and 3,000 projects to positively impact society. This costs us around 60 million rand a year, but it results in social upliftment to the impact value of around 1 billion rand annually. This is a point for all our first years today. Whatever you learn, use it. Teach your skills to others. Make the most of your time with us, because knowledge that is not applied is lost. Join in on volunteering activities to appreciate what you have. Help your fellow students, study groups, directions if they are lost, assistance if they need support, because every act of kindness that you do is good for you. Kindness is the UP way. Don't let your knowledge make you arrogant and boastful. Rather, know that as much as you know, there is more that you don't know. So be curious, be kind, be creative, be responsible, and throughout your journey with us. From today until graduation, make today and every day matter. Welcome to the University of Pretoria. We look forward to walking alongside your life's journey, and thank you for choosing UP.
Thank you, Professor Coupe. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm certain that Professor Coupe has inspired you all with his carefully chosen words. It's often said that academics are people who talk in other people's sleep. However, I'm certain that all of you are awake to hear Professor Coupe's message today. I'd now like to invite Camerata to perform 2 musical items for your entertainment. The items are African Medley, which is an arrangement by Dr. Michael Barrett, and Pumelelo Manyati, who is a UP student in meteorology, but a choral music fanatic. And then Elijah Rock, a traditional spiritual arrangement by Moses Hogan. So thank you, Camerata.
Elijah rock. Oh, Elijah rock. Oh, Elijah rock. Elijah rock. Oh, Elijah rock. Elijah rock.
Come on, sister, help me to pray. Tell me, my Lord, done pass this way.
Elijah rock. Elijah rock. Oh, Elijah rock. Elijah rock. Elijah rock. Elijah rock. Elijah rock. Elijah rock.
Elijah rock. Shout, shout. Elijah rock. Coming out, Lord. Elijah rock. Shout, shout. Elijah rock. Coming out, Lord.
Elijah rock, 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 Elijah rock,
Elijah rock, shout, shout, Elijah rock, coming out, Lord, Elijah rock, shout, shout, Elijah rock, coming out, Lord.
Satan ain't nothing but a snake in the grass. He's a conjurer, he's a liar. Hallelujah, Lord. Elijah rock, 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 Elijah rock,
Elijah rock, shout, shout, Elijah rock, coming out, Lord, Elijah rock, shout, shout, Elijah rock, coming out, Lord.
Elijah rock.
If I could, I surely would stand on the rock where Moses stood. If I could, I surely would stand on the rock where Moses
Elijah rock, 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 hallelujah, Jesus, hallelujah, Jesus, hallelujah, Jesus, hallelujah, Jesus,
rock Elijah, 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 rock Elijah,
Thank you, Camerata, for joining us this morning and for brightening our day with your wonderful music. It's always a delight to share a Camerata performance because these young singers' joy in what they're doing is so infectious. Ladies and gentlemen, those amongst you who would like to try out for Camerata, the students will be here after the proceedings this morning, so you can talk to them about how you could do that. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give them another round of applause? Thank you very much. Sir Oliver Wendell Holmes said, "Where we love is home, a home that our feet may leave, but not our hearts." Students often confront some homesickness and some challenges when they're becoming responsible and independent adults. You heard the VC talk about responsible use of alcohol, learning about drugs, etc., etc. We know the university is a fountain of knowledge, but students, you've not come here to drink. Okay. I hope that UP is going to become a second home to all of you, and that you'll embrace the joys and the challenges of student life with enthusiasm, learning to do things the UP way. Do not however, think that you're alone in this endeavour. Students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. At UP, we care very deeply for the well-being of each one of you. The Vice Principal for Student Life, Professor Musia, and his team will do everything that they can to facilitate your transition, as will the Student Representative Council. Here to introduce his team and to share a brief message with you is David Kabwa, whom I mentioned earlier. David's a proud scholar of political sciences who's now changed direction slightly to do his honours in international relations. I want to just share a thought with you before I invite David to the podium. I'm going to make a statement, and the reason for it will become very obvious in a few moments. There's a very historical Shakespearean actor known as Mr. Bellows. Mr. Bellows was very renowned for his booming voice and his dramatic pauses. David, please join me.
I would like to begin by introducing the members of the 2020 Student Representative Council, a group that is dedicated, students who go beyond the call of duty to ensure that us as fellow students get the best amount of help that is possible and that no student is left behind. I will introduce their names and the offices that they hold within the Student Representative Council. I begin with Mpho Makulu, the Deputy President. Mr. Ryan Haynes, the Secretary. Ms. Lerato Ndlovu, the Deputy Secretary. Mr. Shaheen Dean Ryan, the Treasurer. Mr. Gerald, the Possibilitarian Mokwena, Head of Marketing, Media, and Communications. Ms. Tula Khanyo Kola, Head of Study Finance. Ms. Tabasile Mshalati, Head of Transformation and Student Success. Mr. Lindani Mohuduka, Head of Postgraduate and International Student Affairs. Ms. Lemokhang Mochwari, Head of Day Students and External Campus Affairs. Ms. Bianca Robinson, Head of Facilities, Safety and Security. Ms. Hannah LaRue, Head of Societies. Ms. Lebohang Masiteng, Head of Reach Out and Give. Ms. Nomafu Nkobane, Head of Student Sport. Mr. Sibo Hamane, Chair of Chairs Residences. Ms. Laura Tom, Chair of Chairs Residences. Ms. Lorenja Motokwa, Chair of Chairs Academics. Mr. Namatai Ruswa, Chair of Chairs Academics. Today, we sit in anticipation. We sit with jubilation and joyful elation For some of us, we sit with quiet contemplation as we think about how far we have come and how far we are yet to go. As we gather here today, there is one commonality that we all share. Regardless of race, creed, religion, or background, this commonality binds us all together like the vines in the vineyard of destiny. These vines are watered gently with the droplets of hope, and they bear forth the fruit of the future. You see, this commonality that we all share is that at some point in our lives we have all said, on that day, I will remember. There are those of us who have sat at desks with pens that have flowed with the ink of sleepless nights as we have fought to get through our examinations. There are those of us that have sacrificed more than anyone will ever know because of the belief that my child is worth it. There are those of us that have not had to struggle very much, but we are still grateful to be here. And then there are those of us that have had to scratch and claw and push to make it to this point. What has motivated us to get to this point was the belief that one day we will look back and say, I remember, and now it was all worth it. On this day, let us powerfully, passionately push past pugnaciousness, perceiving pestiferous pathways, pointing past paranoia, producing panic. And what I mean by that is let us do our best. Let us not be held back by the fear of the unknown, but let us move forward. Because on that day, we will remember the importance of taking care of our mental health. Today you have joined a community, and that means that you no longer have to take care of anything on your own. Ask for help for anything you are experiencing, emotionally, physically, mentally. Your mental health matters. On that day, we will also remember that it is not everyone who smiles in our faces who are our actual friends. And by that, I mean do not walk into a toxic relationship of any kind. On that day, we will remember the importance of starting early. Because if you keep up, you do not have to play catch up. Under the Student Representative Council, we have 9 faculty houses, more than 26 residence committees, 4 day houses for students who are not in residences, and over 120 societies that contribute towards student life. We have a variety of platforms available through our student culture, student sport, and reach out and give committees. The student life at the University of Pretoria, it is rich and bountiful. Let us prioritize our academics. Let us also remember to live a balanced life. And so to every student and every parent, to every child, every brother, and every sister, to all of the members of the academic staff and the professional staff, on this day, let us remember that we are fellow compatriots in the pursuit of educational enlightenment. On this day, let us remember that we have the capacity and the capability to loosen the shackles of mediocrity that have bound so many to complacency. On this day, let us remember that the bonds that bind us together at the University of Pretoria is the bond of greatness. As you sit in this room today, recognize that if there was no greatness in you, you would not be here. You are great. On this day, Let us remember that we are all members of one community, and that is the UP community. On this day, let us remember that today marks the first day of the rest of our lives. And so I would like to say, welcome to a brand new horizon that shines with the boldness of hope. Welcome to a brand new chapter and the first day of many that we would look back on with fondness as we remember where we are going. Today, it gives me great pleasure and great humility to say, you are welcome to the University of Pretoria.
Thank you, David, for your message, and thank you to the SRC members for joining us here this morning. Thank you to you, the parents, the guardians, and the students for being here. Before we close this morning's proceedings, may I remind you please to take hundreds and hundreds of photographs and share them on social media on #UPWelcomeDay. And let me also thank the Department of Enrollment and Student Affairs, the Department of Institutional Advancement, the Department of Facilities Management and Security Services for their hard work in facilitating this event. Please will the audience, when I indicate you, stand and remain standing whilst the procession leaves the hall. When the procession has left the hall, please leave the hall through the various exits, including those at the back of the hall, and enjoy a cup of tea or coffee at the entrance to the venue while you take all those wonderful photographs of the start of your UP journey. Finally, can I request that once you've had your refreshment, that you please leave the venue in the car park as quickly as possible so that our second group of students and their parents and guardians can enter to take their place for the second welcome session. Thank you all. I hope you will love every minute of your journey with the University of Pretoria. Please will you now stand while the procession leaves the hall.
Gaudiamus sigitur juvenestum sumus. Gaudiamus sigitur juvenestum sumus. Post jucundam juventutem, post molestam senectutem, nos habebitumus. Nos habebitumus. Gaudiamus sigitur juvenestum sumus. Gaudiamus